How do you feel about now you've seen the duties of professional football? You were able to play in it, and coming from not a big school, how do you feel about professional football?
Well, professional football, it's in a class by itself, really. I think if any young kid today has an opportunity to play professional football, they should take that opportunity. Coming out of Division III school like Monclair State, there wasn't many opportunities to fly around the country or to have people give you things all the time. But once I got an opportunity to try with the Chicago Bears, those things were given to me each and every day. And I had the opportunity to travel and do things I never would have had the opportunity to do if I didn't play professional football. I was blessed and fortunate, so I took advantage of it.
The one thing that you do take note is right now, as a coach, is that I remember when we were talking at an earlier time that you prepare all your secondary men, or as far as the whole coaching squad, they prepare their players to go on to pro if they get that opportunity. Is that true in a lot of Division III schools?
No, I don't think so. I think it's true at Monclair State because I've discussed it with the rest of the coaches. I think anytime a young man has an opportunity to prepare himself for professional athletics, we as coaches should take it upon ourselves to learn as much as we can on how to prepare an athlete for the professional ranks. I think this is our philosophy at Montclair State, because if we can prepare a kid to play professional football, then we're saying we want the best from you. All right, and if we can get the best from each and every one of the individuals on our particular team, we know we can have a quality team from year to year.
Is professional football as glamorous as fans and players think it is? You have played in the NFL, the USFL, and the CFL. You've seen all three leagues, and how would you compare it?
Well, I think what's important is for everyone to realize that playing professional football or any type of professional sports it's a job first. All right, there's a lot of long hours put into preparing for a game, one game a week, and there's a lot of time that you have to take away from your family, take away from your homes, and take away from your social life. It's glamorous after the game. All right, you have 1 or 2 nights just to relax and sit back and say, wow, we went through a whole week and I made it. But other than that, it's a job. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's a 24-hour day job. And many people do not look at it as such. I think most people, from what the media writes each and every day, think that football is a world by itself. You know, you don't work. You know, you're doing this. You're having fun and getting paid to have fun. And it's really not the case. You have to prepare yourself each and every day.
What transition did you make in your life after professional football? Now, I believe it was an injury that did finish your career, but is that necessarily the case?
Well, I think, Perry, not an injury finished my career. I chose upon myself to finish my career. There was many opportunities to continue to play, but I felt at this time in my life, with the opportunities that I had outside of professional football, that getting away from the game was better for me. For some people, they want to go on years and years playing, or at least try to reach a dream. I had an opportunity to see a dream, to make my dream a reality, and I wanted to get out while I was healthy.
I see. Now, let me talk a little bit about your career at Montreal when you were with the Montreal Concordes. Okay, what was your biggest moment with that particular team? Now, the Montreal Concordes, for our viewing audience, is a CFL, a Canadian Football League team. And Coach, why don't you just tell us a little bit about that particular time out in the CFL, and what was your biggest highlight there?
When I first went to Canada, it was because it was during the NFL. When I first started out with the Chicago Bears, it was a strike-shortened year. So many of the rookies that first got into the league, they got caught with losing a lot of money. So when I went up to Canada, just to be out there and get an opportunity to play was a highlight within itself. But when the first game I played was against the Edmonton Eskimos, and the quarterback of that particular team was Warren Moon. And Warren holds almost every passing record in the CFL. And the first time he threw a pass, I intercepted it, so I was happy. I think that was the big highlight of my professional career.
Okay, and as everybody knows, Warren Moon came to the NFL to play for the unfortunate Houston Oilers this season. And maybe what Coach Porter did to him out in the NFL had an effect on it, huh?
Well, he's making all the money now, so he's happy.
Okay. What else do you find different about college players today? When you were a player, okay, out on the field, playing ball, now you see people like Craig Hayward from Passaic. Big guy, a kid that just went into, he's playing for Pitt now, what is he, 18 or 19, but he was a massive player. Did you see players coming out of the schools when you were in high school or college?
No, I think I'm a perfect example of a small man playing professional football. The kids nowadays are more weight conscious. What I mean by that is that weight conditioning is a part of their everyday life now if they want a career in professional football. When I was coming out of school, the biggest lineman was about 180, 190 pounds. And now you got kids coming out of high school now close to 255, 260-pound kids. And these are kids that are in man bodies, but they have minds of still kids. So the maturity factor is important. A lot of kids don't mature quick enough to compensate for the growth of their bodies.
Mm-hmm. What do you see is the biggest detriment with that particular factor, mentally that is?
Well, mentally, a lot of kids, just because they're big, they feel they can go anywhere. And many of them procrastinate in trying to get out and make contacts with a lot of colleges in the area. So they wait too late, and then eventually they lose out on going to college. They have to sit out a whole year because they haven't followed through with their paperwork or their applications, whatever the case may be. So I think a lot of kids are misled just because of their size. They feel that they should be other places, and that usually doesn't work out the way they hope it would.
That seems to be a big factor today in collegiate ball, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
What are some of your views? Now, this is a subject that a lot of coaches are very interested in and have high opinions on. And I want to get your opinions as a former pro. Recruitment, that's the thing. Recruitment of high school players into the big Division I college ranks. What do you feel about that?
Well, I think anytime a young man has an opportunity to play Division I or Division I AA football, they should take it as such. But I also want to say that I recommend to all the athletes that want to play big-time football that those people that are giving you a scholarship to go to that particular institution want something from you. They want you to produce every day in practice and on the football fields on Sunday or Saturday afternoons. And with that, I say, well, if they want something from you, then you get something in return. You get a quality education. You get away from that institution with a degree. I think it's important because a lot of people are misled. They think that if I go to Division I school, that's all I'm going to do is play football and prepare myself for professional ranks, but that's not the case.
At this time, I'd just like to do a little surprise on you, Coach. I did some research, and I happened to dig up a picture of you playing for Montreal. If we could go see that on the screen there. I believe that game was against Ottawa, the Rough Riders.
Right.
And there you are wearing number 18. I'm used to seeing you with the number 20 on, Coach.
Yeah, that was a change a little bit. When I went up to Canada, they not only gave me a lot of money, they gave me a new jersey. So I was happy, and I didn't complain, so I just rolled with the punches a little bit.
That is something to make it to the pros in a situation where you're coming out of a small school such as Monclair State. What was the biggest thing that was prepared for you when you went to the pros?
Well, the most important thing I had my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on my side, and I put all my faith in everything I did on the football field and off the football field in His hands. And I was fortunate, coming out of Division III school, I wasn't supposed to make it. I guess myself and other players from Monclair State are considered success stories just simply because we came from Monclair State College. I wasn't supposed to make it, but I did. I'm fortunate. I'm blessed. And
you went against the odds.
Of course. And anytime you can do that, you got to sort of pat yourself on the back and give praise to the Lord.
That's really interesting. What do you say to you're the secondary coach at Monclair State College, and you finished a short career. And the one thing on a positive note was that you were able to say when your career was over, you weren't forced out of the game. I believe it was Jim Otto who played for the Raiders as the center going back a few years. And it was a pretty rough experience for Otto since he had all these different injuries. But you did finish your career on your basis.
Well, I finished my career on an up note. A lot of players are finishing their careers going downhill. I wasn't struggling for anything. I was pretty comfortable financially. I had a lot of things going for me, and I had a lot of opportunities off the field. And that was the positive thing for me. A lot of people don't have those opportunities, and if they do get a chance to more or less make it to professional football, if there's one thing I can say is never burn your bridges. Always be prepared and always prepare yourself for the future.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about how you feel about the officiating if you want to talk about that, not in what you're doing now, but in the NFL and USFL. How do you feel about the officiating there?
Well, officiating it's all judgmental. You know, you got 6 or 7 guys on a football field with 60, 70, 80,000 people in the stands yelling at them. You know, they're bound to make mistakes. You know, we would have to realize that we're all human. We're all make some mistakes, and that we should be allotted to make some mistakes. I think with the USFL bringing in the instant replay from referees that have made judgment calls, I don't think that's a good part of the game. You know, I think it's a detriment to the game, because I feel it takes away the judgmental factor of the game. You know, I think a man is bound to make mistakes, and that if he does make a mistake, hey, dust it off and go back and get the next one.
Right. Tell me a little bit now. You're also the assistant baseball coach in the college that you're working at now. Did you play high school baseball or college baseball?
Yeah, I was fortunate because I had an opportunity to be blessed with good ability in both sports. When I came to Montclair, I continued to play both baseball and football. But then after a while, after talking to a lot of people, I had to make a choice. I chose to follow football, basically because I had a brother that played baseball, so I didn't want to do what my brother did. So I chose to go to football, and it worked out pretty well for me.
Isn't